All right, Zach, have you ever had a case of the Mondays?
Every Monday.
Oh, you do? All right.
Every Monday.
Well, more books are dropping on this
no.
Monday, which could be a good thing. So stay tuned to find out. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains!
Ah!
If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess, Her Royal Highness, the Seahawk Princess doing her wave. So make sure to do that princess wave, bow to, respect, and Coco ran away. She ran away.
Oh, she's sick of us.
She's tired of us.
She's looking for a blanket.
Yeah, that's how you do it. You never did get that back. What?
All right, guys. So today is Monday, and like we do on every Monday, we have a brand new drop list. So we like to report on comics that have dropped in price a year ago, and it's pretty fun. We got a really cool list going for you. And yeah, before we get into any of that, Zach has got to get into something delicioso.
Got a buy boost. A strawberry watermelon.
Like you didn't know what you were going to drink.
A buy boost.
I'm going to get buy boosted.
Buy boosted. It's a plant-based energy, guys. There's only 10 calories in this. I don't know how much energy would be that.
You had the buy before and it was no bueno.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. I know you didn't have the boost though, so maybe the boost is a little
boost. Boost off my head. Maybe you put it in the
easy, Arnold. Is it better than the other?
Oh, God. Why?
Buy tastes like 50% chemicals.
Oh, man, God.
There's only 2% juice in this.
It's 1%.
98%
it says
chemical.
1% juice. Who knows?
You can buy in that drink.
Bye.
All right. Back to the drop list. Now, we're having some fun this Monday with you guys. So, the drop list is a list of comics that the Gains crew puts together based on hot and trending lists from comics that were hot and trending a year ago. And we basically scour these lists and try to figure out which books have taken a dive in price. And we try to figure out why they were hot a year ago and why they're down in price this time. And whether or not these books are a good idea to purchase or pick up. Or in some of these cases, Zach will let you know you should probably just forget this book ever existed.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
that happens.
So, but, there's a lot of times on books on this list that, we've kind of drinking some of our own medicine and bought some of these books on this list. I know some of you guys have too. Some people reach out to us, let us know, like, we bought some of the books that were on the drop list because of how far they've gone down. And yeah, it's a fun list to come up with. So, kicking off the list, and first book, which we don't have, is Cable and Deadpool number 24 from 2006. This is a Patrick Zurich and Fabian Nicieza did the work on this. And this is actually a book, when we were doing this list, Zach didn't know existed. It's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. He's like, I never heard about this book. I'm going to be looking out for this all over. But this is the first meeting of Spider-Man and Deadpool, which is a great time to buy this book right now because inevitably they should show up together at the same time in the MCU. Hopefully Tom Holland's going to stay in for a little while longer. I haven't heard that he's leaving anytime soon. He already had 3 movies, which is kind of like the magic spot for everybody unless you're Thor. But obviously this book was getting hot like a year ago because everyone was anticipating like Deadpool coming into the MCU. They were like, hey, Deadpool 3 is going to happen. But we didn't get any movie announcements yet a year ago. So we just thought it was going to come out like in phase 5, maybe phase 4, depending on. We didn't know it was going to be as late. Like now it's like announced 2024, which is way out there. So that's why it's a little bit weird. Plus, you had like Spider-Man No Way Home, so they had multiversal things. They were thinking like Deadpool might show up in that. And even in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, there was that weird glass breaking picture that they showed. In one of the pictures, the glass actually had like Deadpool's face in it. So that was kind of like, they were like, is he going to be in this one? There's all these speculation they were going to show up together. But this is a very cool book. It's in a really cool run. That number 1 is actually like a $30 book too, even though there's just their first, title, the first title going together. But Zach, more importantly, where is Deadpool Cable number 24 sitting today?
Oh, it's down. It's down quite a bit. Yeah, it's having a case on Mondays. So it prices a year ago last sold a year ago first sold a year ago, was $944.02.
Dang!
And now, last sell was $247.50.
1,000 almost?
Yeah, it was almost
Whoa.
1,000 years ago. Now it's $247.50. Let's see if we can find it. Range is $199.99 to $944.02. Average is $574.92. It was very hard to find this book graded at all, so I had to look up at least how many were graded. There's only 62 total graded, not 98s. There's just.
Are you serious?
Yeah, only 62.
No wonder
graded.
you hadn't heard of this book.
I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, so, and that sale just happened out of random, like a month or two ago for $247. Someone slept on this one. And if you can find this book, they might be sleeping too, and you might be able to get a good deal on it. I would highly, highly advise getting this book. Especially for $247. Jeez, that's cheap.
Yeah, there was like a weird time period in the early 2000s where like Marvel just kept pumping out Deadpool books, but like they weren't printing that many of them at the same time. There's a lot of really cool Deadpool covers that are just worth money because they're like low print runs too. It's like there's probably not many of this book even circulating out there. No. They're just like, keep making Deadpool regardless of what's going on because people buy it, but don't print a lot of covers. I don't know what they were thinking, but there's a lot of Deadpool books like that.
And this is the time period of the newsstand, so it could also be in a newsstand.
Look out. Okay, next up on the list, we have Amazing Spider-Man 346, and I don't know why we don't have this book. I thought we had it,
346,
but we do not.
We don't have it.
So this is from 1991. You got Eric Larson and David Michelini did the cover on this one. This is just an iconic, badass cover overall. I mean, it has no other significance other than it's just an amazing cover. What's kind of cool for me about this time period is that you just got done having McFarlane run on Amazing Spider-Man, and it's like awesome cover after awesome cover after awesome cover, and then they followed up with Eric Larson jumping on, and he's like, hey, I got my own awesome covers, because you got 345 is amazing, like holding like the skull head, and then you got 346 right after that. Just great books. And I also think it's kind of special because they're not homages to other books. It's just like his own flat out good drawing. And he added the tongue in, which I don't dislike the tongue. I kind of prefer Venom without the tongue, but we've had this conversation about tongue before.
I like a lot of tongue.
Zach likes the tongue. But yeah, just I would say this book got really hot a year ago when all the Venom books started getting really expensive. It's just like 300 got priced out of everyone's price range in 2021. Then you had like 315 started going nuts. Everyone's like, all of a sudden that book was crazy, and then all of a sudden the Larson book started going really like this for a long time was like a $20 book. Then like a year ago they were selling for like $70-$80 raw, and I was like, holy cow! I passed on this book like a bunch of times just because I thought it was always going to be there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Luckily now I have a second chance to get this book. This is your second chance, and Zach will explain to you why.
Prices a year ago, and this specifically book was a signature series, but it's a good example. So that sold for $389.99 for CGC 9.8. Now $125. Range is $85 to $389.99. Average is $216.64. I mean, it's a pretty decent book. It's not a key, but it's a great cover. It's a great Eric Larson cover, I believe.
Yep.
I mean, if you like Venom, this is a book that you want. $125 is not a bad price for that book. If you like Venom, you want that run. You want that $298 to 3-something. 350 or something.
350
like that.
Sounds about good.
Yeah, let's go 350 or 365 because that's the She Venom.
You need 361.
Oh yeah,
saying She Venom.
Yeah, She Venom.
She Venom.
360. No, it's 365.
Yeah. No, but 361 is Carnage.
Yeah, Carnage.
You got to get all them books in there too.
You should. Might as well if you have the money.
Just get them all.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent book. It's a little lower on the list of books that you probably would want to get for resale value. But if you love Venom, love Spider-Man, it's higher on the list, of course.
Yeah, it caught me off guard. It's definitely one of the books I wanted to get, but it wasn't high on my to get list because it was so easy to find and so cheap. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, why is this book like on all these trending lists and like pricing out of what I wanted to pay for it? And I'm like, I don't want to spend that much on a
I've waited too long.
Non kind of key book, but now's your chance. Now I can get back in, get the book I needed to get, which I thought I had already, which I didn't have, fortunately. All right, now, every once in a while we have a nice little DC goodness make the list, and this is one of Zach's personal favorites. But you have Detective Comics
Yeah.
524 from 1983. You got Ed Hannigan and Jerry Conway working on this book together. Beautiful, beautiful cover. But this is the first full appearance of Killer Croc. Now, there's some confusion because he does have a lot of cameos. There's also Detective Comics 523 and Batman 357, which are both considered cameo / appearances, full appearance, depending on who you talk to. But this one is by far the better cover of all three of the books. I think has the nicer cover. To each his own on that. But it also has second appearance of Jason Todd, which is kind of cool. You know, that also adds a little bit of extra goodness to it. But I think this will always be a great book. It's not one of those, you know, it's definitely going to have its ebbs and flows depending on how the market goes, but it's always going to come back and be cool because, you know, Killer Croc's a great character. This did get a spike a year ago because he was going to be showcased in Batwoman, the TV show, season 2. We all know how that turned out. Pretty sure that show got canceled. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that show got canceled. So, that's the reason why it spiked a year ago. So, you know, things go up a little bit. It's kind of nice when these books go up with the TV show. It's kind of cool, especially, you know, like CW shows, even all that stuff's kind of gone. That was CW or ABC? That was CW. Yeah, that was CW. But it did go back down, so it might be a good time for you to pick this up. I think his early days, he started out as like kind of like a gangster type character, not so much like in the sewers that we've seen him now in Suicide Squad. So that Penguin show is still going forward, which is supposed to be kind of deep gangster stuff. That's just, I haven't heard anything, but that's just a speck in my own head. It'd be nice if they showed Killer Croc show back up in the Penguin show. And you know how they kept kind of like, they used Penguin in that aspect, Colin Farrell, but they didn't give him any of the weird deformities like he kind of had in the comics. They left him more of a normal looking person, which would be very easy to bring a Killer Croc type character in, but have him look more normal. Just to use the character name, you know, that could work out really well for that. So just something to think about. And we haven't seen Jason Todd yet in any movie, and we got to see him soon. So, Zach, what are your thoughts on the drop?
I could find a couple sales in a 9.6. So I went for the 9.6. Sales a year ago was $120. Sales now $84. Not too bad of a drop. It dropped. $84 and to $129.99 is the range of the sales. Average is $110.60. It's not a bad book to get for a 9.6 in this grade for this price.
That's cheap, man.
I mean, I would say if you like DC, if you can tolerate DC, this is not a bad book to get at all. It's undervalued. It's really undervalued.
Of all the DC books, though, you do sometimes look for Batman keys, surprisingly enough. Yeah.
They're very undervalued.
Zach knows his Batman keys. He doesn't know Superman, but he knows his Batman keys.
I don't know.
Zach, you want to look in this Action Comics? He's like, I don't know.
World's Finest, waste of time. There's like 3 books that you want in World's Finest. And most of the 2 of those 3 books are Golden Age. So you're not going to find those in a regular box. And then one other book is always taken.
All right, we're getting off on a tangent.
Don't get me started.
All right, guys. The next book on the list is the biggest herder of all herders. We got, we got the herder. This is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 3 from 1984. Jim Shooter and Mike Zeck. This is first Volcana and first Titania, Mary McPherson. And these 2 characters, believe in the story, I should know, in the story, were created by Doctor Doom kind of before that. It's like this whole area got sucked out to make Battle World, and they were kind of like 2 regular people that were there, and Doctor Doom turned them into super villains as they kind of got sucked out into the Battle World. So that's kind of where they were created. It's a great book. I love that a bunch of these books became expensive keys out of nowhere, considering like only number 8 was a good book for years and years and years. And the 3 of us have been specking on this book, and we've been hoarding them and getting these great keys. How many books we have now? Like 5?
4 or 5.
4 or 5 at least. I think Princess got a couple too, I think. We're like, yeah, when Titania comes, we're going to sell all these and they'll be awesome. They were like, what, $70, $80 raw?
Yeah.
At least. And
it was the first
we were like too busy watching She-Hulk. We forgot to sell the books. And now they're on the drop list. So it's like, and they dropped far. They dropped very far. And The only redeeming grace I can say for this book is that Jamila Jamil did a very good job on the show, and was a very likable character. And she, as far as we can tell, she didn't die, so there's no reason. She-Hulk's definitely coming back. Titania should be coming back. She's making a lot of strides in the comic books right now. Like, she married Absorbing Man, so they're like a couple, which is a cool deal. They're both in Gamma Force together, like leading. They have like their own comic book in Gamma Force. So all that's really cool. She's kind of like almost like an anti-hero now, like a little bit. So she could come back. It's not a dead spec by any way, shape, or form. So Zach, how far have the greatness fallen?
Sales a year ago was $275. Now it's $90.96 for the same book now. Actually, not quite the same. Not exactly the same. That copy was specifically signed too. So it was a 9.8 signature series for $90. Ouch. Range is $90.96 to $450. Average is $215.30. I mean, fantastic time to buy it. Do those characters have legs? I don't know. They probably do.
They really
they have very long legs.
I saw Titania's legs. They look nice.
Legs.
They look nice.
The interesting characters. I mean, I think that whole series is going to take off more and more. 1 through 12 are already starting to get pretty expensive. Sometimes you find good deals. But usually with just number 8 that was hot. And now it's number 1, number 3, number 5,
7,
12.
Don't forget about 7.
I mean, they're getting hotter and hotter. I mean, there's a lot of them out there, but once there's so many people going after it, you're not going to be seeing them very often. Normally, like in a short box or a long box, you'll be seeing it on the walls. So for $90 for potentially a good wall book, it's not bad.
I wouldn't pass on that. $90 for 98.
I wish I would have seen it. I would have bid up. It would have sold for $102 to me.
All right. Okay. And last but not least on the list, we have Amazing Spider-Man 149. Great book. And this was actually given to us by I Have a Few Issues. Great friend of the show. So get a chance to showcase your book there, buddy. That will always stay in the PC. This is from 1975. You got Gil Kane and Jerry Conway working on this book. And this is the origin and death of the Jackal. Sorry for the spoiler, guys. I know this came out in 1975. But it's also the first appearance of the clone of Peter Parker, which is Ben Reilly, although he's not named in this story as Ben Reilly. He's only named later on. So ipso facto, this is the real first appearance of Ben Reilly. Super underrated book, considering like Web of Spider-Man 119 is almost as expensive as this book, and this is like 1975, like 100, like ASM 149. It's pretty early ASM 149, so just kind of crazy. And I think this book was getting hot. You had a year ago, Ben Reilly was getting like his own solo title. He was also leading character in Amazing Spider-Man with the Beyond series was coming out. Yes. So everyone's like looking to see like all his other keys, what goes along with him. You have like, I saw they're going to do Chasm #1s coming out, that Dark Web series. He's going to be a major player. I think this book has only just started to see what's going on. For some reason it's on the drop though, because people kind of forgot about Ben Reilly a little bit. I don't know why. Always keep him in the back of your head. I love the Clone Saga. That's my era when I was reading comics. Even though I think it's kind of like Clone Saga is kind of like what Star Wars, like the prequels. Yeah. Like people hated it when it was coming out. Now everyone like 20 years. What are we at? 20 years later is now thinking like, oh, that was actually really good.
It's a very good idea.
There's some really good writing in that.
I like it. It's like when those phones first came out, the smartphones, and then someone made like a big smartphone. Like, I don't like that. It doesn't fit in my pocket very good. Now everybody has those big smartphones.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. That is weird how it's all coming
out.
We had like Star Wars Clone Wars, Spider-Man Clone Wars. See? There's a whole clone thing going now. It's all coming back.
Okay.
It's all coming back. We're all enjoying it again. But I think it's a cool book, and it has dropped a little bit, so now might be a good time to pick this up. I think Zach was actually saying in the higher grades it is holding its value, so that is something to think about. The 9.8 did not drop,
no,
but a couple of them, not middle grades, but
9.4.
9.4.
Still a high grade.
Yeah, 9.4 might be a good opportunity to jump in on this book, and Zach will give you some more info.
So it was a year ago, sold for $800. Now it's $699.99. So it didn't drop that much, but the range is very interesting. So the lowest it's ever sold for in a range, I took out one sale because it was kind of way too low because it didn't make sense. Was $381.51 to $800. So it's a very volatile book. So keep an eye out. You'll probably be able to find it for a pretty good deal. The average is $642.33. And the regular sale was one of the 9.4s for $70. And it was a buy it now. I don't think they
wish
meant...
I was that guy.
I don't think they meant... I think they planned on putting another zero at the end. And they just... I'm almost 100% sure they canceled it. That was a mistake. They probably just canceled it. Because no one's going to send a $600-$700 book for $70. Yeah, not on eBay, anyways. Maybe on Whatnot. I mean,
that could definitely happen on Whatnot.
That could definitely happen on Whatnot. But yeah, I think honestly, if you keep your eye out, you'll be able to find it probably for the $400 range for a 9.4. If not, you should at least consider buying a raw copy because this book would be very hard to say what grade it is because there's just so much. It's a lighter cover. There's so many colors. There's so many things could happen to it. I mean, if you have a good eye for grading, you might be able to pick up a $100, $200 copy, and it might be like a 9.6 or 9.8.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those books where it's just hard to say what grade it is.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those books that's like become more of a classic as time has gone on. That might be why it's so volatile. It's like the old school collectors didn't see it as one of those big keys, even though it is an older ASM book, and now that people like more our age or whatever that really like Ben Reilly, now it's all of a sudden becoming like a classic book. So it's an interesting one to look out for.
Yeah. Everybody's looking for that ASM 1 through 50 and then 100 through 130, but they always forget this book.
Mm-hmm. It's got that 129 yellow on it. They probably use the same marker.
They probably use the same marker? About it. The V13.
Right?
Or no, the Y13.
That's the color?
Well, they always do the color guides. It's like Y is for yellow, and then what type of shade of yellow. It's like Y13 or Y2 or... it was very... I got a couple color guides. I might show you one.
And the more you know.
The more you know.
All right, guys. That's going to round out the list. And if you like seeing the drop list and like hearing us talk about it, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell because we're always going live on Wednesdays. You want to know what time? Leave a comment down below. Let us know if you had any of these books on the drop list, or if you're excited they're on the drop list, or you're worried they're on the drop list, or anything you're feeling in your heart's desire. And Zach, you got anything extra?
Yeah, you gotta share. How you do that is you get one of those spinning chairs, the computer chairs, to spin around like crazy. Like crazy. And then stand real quickly and hope you don't get hurt very much. But that's how you become a spinner, guys. Wait, no, that's not that's not what it is. Don't look that up. If you don't know what it is, good.
That's how you become a fidget spinner.
A fidget spinner.
Good thing those are gone. That was not, yeah.
Oh, that was so dumb. Like, companies stop doing certain things and just make those. They made so much money. Hopefully they stop. Before they get.
I don't think they're around anymore, are they?
Yeah, you have to get that money first, and then you're like, okay, we made the money. Get out of it now. Get out. Some people don't know how to get out.
Before they go down.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Get those spinning gains.
Yeah.
Every single.